Hello and welcome to the first part of my series of tutorials on the Boeing 737 NGX from PMDG. In this first video I'll be showing you how to do the cockpit flows from a cold and dark cockpit to get the aircraft to a powered state. First of all, we need to get the aircraft to a cold and dark state, because probably once you've loaded it, it's going to give you like either an engines on state or a state like this where the engines are off but the systems are on. So we're going to go to the FMC and go click the menu button, PMDG setup, state, load, and NGX cold and dark. Execute. Just wait for the countdown at the top left there and it will be finished soon. It's just initializing the system, so then everything's ready for you to go. Right, that seems loaded. Okay, so first thing we need to do next is go to the overhead panel and check that the DC meter selector is on BAT for battery, and that the switch below it, which is the battery switch, is set to on, and then guard it with the cover above it. Then we need to go to the fuel panel and check that it's set correctly. We're not using the APU today, so we don't need to switch this any of these fuel panel switches on. We're going to use ground power today, so it's unnecessary. We're going to go to the hydraulic panel now and make sure that the electric pumps are off. Those two off. Set the APU bleed off. And we are not using external air at the moment, I don't think. Yeah, we're not, because I just set it to cold and dark, so by default it wouldn't have that. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. So back to the overhead panel for now. So the APU bleed is off. Then we go down now and check that the gear lever is set to down and it's got 3 lights above it to confirm the position. Then we go to the fire panel just here. Right, the first thing we're going to do is test the fire or overheat system. So you need to right click this and hold it and drag it to the right for it to stay on, otherwise you'll only get just a tap of it. So you need to click and drag sideways and then clear the warning on the master caution warning system and go back down to the fire panel and whoops, I didn't mean to clear that yet. Right. Yeah, back to the fire panel and confirm that all the lights, the correct lights are showing. So engine 1 overheat and 2 overheat, and the bottle discharge switches for the extinguishers on each engine are illuminated. Change it back to the central position and then to the left now and check that fault and APU det inop is lit up, and go up here confirming the same is displayed here, overheat detection, and clear that, go back to the fire panel and switch it back to the central position. Now after that we go back to the FMC and the chocks are set and we need to connect ground power, don't we? So we just set that on. Now we're going to go back to the overhead panel check that the AC meter selector is on ground power, and notice two things that changed just then. If I switch it back quickly, right, we had 0 AC volts because obviously the APU's not on, so that was reading nothing for us. So nothing else gives, well, Gen 1 APU and Gen 2 are showing no voltage or frequency indications, for obvious reasons. So if I change it to ground power, we got 400 Hz almost, and 115 volts alternating current being provided to the aircraft by the ground power unit, the GPU outside. So we go down now to the ground power switch and select it to on, and if you listen to the cockpit you'll hear the sound change as the gyros and everything come on inside. Now we're going to go up to the upper overhead panel and set the IRSs to nav, left and right. Notice how it says on DC first, then it switches to align. Now it's aligning, and we go to the electric panel and just make sure it's all set. That's fine. Emergency exit light switch needs to be switched to arm position, and then it needs to be covered also, just to prevent anyone from accidentally switching it. Environmental controls, we don't need to do anything with that at the moment. Environmental controls are set for the moment. Okay, now we're going to set the IRS position on the FMC, so we're going to exit this mode on the FMC and go back to ident, just confirm everything is correct here, and well, it's already, you would type these in 553. I'm not sure why it stayed there because I set the cold and dark state, but okay. Now we need to go to the next page and take one of the left or right GPS coordinates, copy it into the scratch pad, go back to previous page and paste it in to set IRS position. And if we look up to the nav display and the PFD now, we see that everything is aligned. Now the flap lever position needs to be confirmed, so if we just look to our right here, it says flap up on 0, and parking brake is set now, and it's showing the red light, it's indicating that it's set. Wheel well fire warning we need to check now. So now that we've got ground power, the wheel well warning should show. So we're going to take it to the left now, to the right, sorry, and go to the master caution warning system and clear it, and confirm again, overheat detected, and clear that. Go back to the fire panel, and it also confirmed that it says wheel well fire and engine 1 overheat, engine 2 overheat, and the 3 big red handles are illuminated. That's that check completed. Now we go to the overhead panel and switch all of the lights on the aircraft. So all of the external lights outside the aircraft all on. Now this is where we exit the aircraft and do the walk around to check if anything's wrong with the either the lights or the plane itself. Well, that's all for the cold and dark setup section of the PMDG 737 NGX tutorial. Watch out for my next video on cockpit prep. Thanks very much for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.